The world in 2026 feels more tense than it has in decades. Headlines flash across television screens and smartphones warning of rising global instability. Military exercises are expanding. Alliances are strengthening. Rivalries are intensifying. Across continents, leaders are delivering powerful speeches about security, sovereignty, and national interest. And ordinary people are beginning to ask a question that once seemed unthinkable. Is the world moving closer to World War III global? Conflict does not usually begin with a single dramatic event. It builds slowly through miscalculations, competition, and mistrust. In recent years, geopolitical tensions have increased in multiple regions at the same time. Major powers are competing economically, technologically, and militarily. The balance of global power is shifting, and history shows that such transitions often create instability. One of the biggest flashpoints remains Eastern Europe. The war between Russia and Ukraine reshaped global security dynamics. Sanctions disrupted trade. Energy markets experienced volatility. NATO strengthened its eastern defenses. Military budgets increased across Europe. Even though active fighting may fluctuate, the broader tension between Russia and Western nations continues to shape global strategy. At the same time, tensions between the United States and China remain high. Economic rivalry has expanded into technology competition, supply chain control, semiconductor dominance, and military positioning in the Indo-Pacific region. Taiwan remains one of the most sensitive geopolitical pressure points in the world. Any escalation there could pull multiple global powers into confrontation. In the Middle East, long-standing rivalries continue to simmer. Proxy conflicts influence regional stability. Oil production decisions impact global energy prices. Strategic waterways remain critical to international trade. A single miscalculation in such a volatile region could trigger broader involvement from global powers. Military spending worldwide has risen significantly over the past few years. Countries are modernizing nuclear arsenals, investing in cyber warfare capabilities, expanding naval fleets, and developing hypersonic weapons. Defense budgets are increasing even in nations that traditionally maintained neutral positions. This global arms buildup reflects preparation for uncertainty. Cyber warfare has become a major concern in 2026. Unlike traditional wars, cyber attacks can happen silently, targeting financial systems, power grids, communication networks, and military infrastructure. A large-scale cyber disruption could escalate quickly if nations interpret attacks as acts of war. Economic warfare is another dimension shaping the global landscape. Sanctions, tariffs, export restrictions, and resource control are being used strategically. Nations are forming new trade alliances while reducing dependence on rivals. The fragmentation of global supply chains increases tension and reduces economic interdependence, which historically acted as a stabilizing force. Energy remains a powerful geopolitical tool. Oil and gas routes influence alliances. Renewable energy technology competition adds another layer. Control over rare earth minerals critical for advanced technology has become strategically important. Resource competition has often played a role in global conflicts throughout history. The role of alliances is central to understanding the risk of a broader war. NATO expansion has been viewed differently by different nations. Defense agreements in Asia are strengthening. Regional blocs are forming based on shared security concerns. While alliances aim to deter aggression, they can also expand conflicts. If treaty obligations require collective response, another factor increasing anxiety is nuclear deterrence. Nuclear weapons are designed to prevent full-scale war through mutual destruction logic. However, modernization of arsenals and development of tactical nuclear capabilities introduce new strategic calculations. Miscommunication during crises could have catastrophic consequences. Global misinformation and rapid communication also amplify fear. Social media spreads unverified claims quickly. Diplomatic misunderstandings can escalate before clarification occurs. In past centuries, wars unfolded slowly. Today, reactions happen in minutes. Economic uncertainty contributes to instability. Inflation, supply disruptions, debt levels, and economic inequality create domestic pressure within countries. Leaders facing internal challenges may adopt more aggressive foreign policies to strengthen national unity. Yet despite rising tension, it is important to understand that major powers are also deeply aware of the consequences of global war. The destruction of modern warfare, especially involving nuclear states, would be catastrophic beyond imagination. Economic collapse, humanitarian crises, and global instability would follow. Diplomatic channels remain active even between rivals. Back-channel negotiations, crisis hotlines, and international forums play critical roles in preventing escalation. While public rhetoric may sound aggressive, private diplomacy often works to reduce risk. Technology has changed warfare dramatically. Artificial intelligence, autonomous drones, satellite surveillance, and cyber capabilities make modern conflict complex. Warfare may not resemble traditional world wars of the past. Instead, conflict could emerge through limited regional confrontations. Economic blockades, cyber disruptions, or proxy battles. Public opinion also matters. Citizens across the world largely oppose large-scale war. Memories of past conflicts remain strong. Economic interdependence means that even rival nations rely on each other for trade, technology, and investment. Financial markets react sharply to geopolitical tension. Oil prices spike during Middle East instability. Stock markets fluctuate with news of military exercises. Investors monitor every diplomatic meeting for signs of escalation or de-escalation. Another emerging risk factor is miscalculation in contested regions such as the South China Sea. Military vessels operating in close proximity increase the risk of accidental confrontation. A single collision or misunderstanding could escalate rapidly. Climate-related stress may also influence geopolitical tension. Resource scarcity, water shortages, and migration pressures can intensify regional instability. Creating new flashpoints. Space has become a new strategic domain. Satellite systems are critical for communication, navigation, and defense coordination. Nations are developing anti-satellite capabilities, which introduces new dimensions to military strategy. However, history also shows that fear of global war can sometimes be exaggerated by media narratives. During the Cold War, tensions were extremely high, yet direct superpower conflict was avoided. Strategic deterrence, diplomacy, and economic interdependence prevented escalation. In 2026, global powers face a complex balancing act. They must project strength while avoiding provocation. They must defend allies while preventing chain reactions. They must compete economically without triggering collapse. The global economy is deeply interconnected. A full-scale world war would destroy financial systems, disrupt trade routes, collapse supply chains, and create massive humanitarian crises. Leaders understand these risks. Still, the accumulation of regional conflicts, alliance commitments, arms races, and nationalist rhetoric creates an atmosphere of uncertainty. Fear grows not from a single event but from multiple simultaneous tensions. The question is not only whether World War III is imminent, but whether the international system can manage rising competition peacefully. Can diplomacy outpace aggression? Can economic cooperation survive rivalry? Can military deterrence prevent miscalculation? For now, the world stands in a tense but controlled environment. Conflicts remain largely regional. Diplomatic engagement continues. Economic ties, though strained, still exist. The future will depend on leadership decisions, crisis management, communication clarity, and willingness to compromise. A single spark in a sensitive region could escalate if not handled carefully. But strong diplomatic frameworks could also stabilize tensions. In 2026, global conflict feels closer in perception than in immediate reality. The world is more armed, more connected, and more economically intertwined than ever before. That combination makes war both more dangerous and more avoidable. As citizens watch headlines and analysts debate scenarios, one truth remains clear. The direction of global peace depends on careful strategy, responsible leadership, and international cooperation. Whether the world moves toward confrontation or stability will unfold through countless small decisions made behind closed doors in diplomatic meetings, military briefings, and economic negotiations. For now, the question echoes across continents. Is a global conflict closer than we think, or is the world navigating a dangerous but manageable phase of geopolitical competition? Only time and diplomacy will determine the answer.